So how you going, guys? This is the TyreWatcher X2 full setup video. Might be a little long-winded, but you can watch it all, and we'll try and put like thumbnail clips in here so you can skip through at time points. So when you get the kit, obviously, so what you get in it, this little bag here. We'll open this up. This 3M strip here, that's if you're going to stick the display on your windscreen. This strip here is to put on your dash. It's like a reusable sort of stick one, so it's easy to peel on and back off. Spanner for replacing the batteries and screwing the lock nuts on. Lock nuts and replacement seals. So that's where you get that small bag there. These seals you probably won't need, but in case you do, they're in the kit. They're like lock nuts, like back onto the sensors, just stop theft. Righto. Get the quick start guide, short guide that pretty much tells you how to set it up for the first time. For a bit more, like a deeper guide, go to the bottom of the product page and there's a full manual there, and there's also this a quick start guide as well at the very bottom of the product page, and also the latest firmware. So that's where you can get it from, so you can download it yourself and print it off. We don't give the full one in here because we're always updating it and changing it, so it's better to have it online. You can print off the latest version. Then obviously you get all your sensors. So depending on what kit you've chosen, you could have up to 12 sensors in here. Small sensors, large sensors. Small sensors are for the car, large sensors for the caravan. They just have better range than large sensors. That's all good. The display, fairly straightforward. Solar panel on the back, charge port on the side, 3 buttons on the top. Then the bottom here you will have the base plate and the cigarette charger. So when you're first setting it up, probably leave it plugged in until it's fully charged, and then you can tuck that away. And it should run, depending where you are and how often you're driving and all sorts of variables, it should last a fair while on the solar. It's just too many variables involved to say how long it will last. It could run off of the solar full time, depending where you are in Australia. So that's what you get in the kit. So that's pretty much covers what's in the kit. So we're going to go through and just check out a few things. So first thing you want to do is just want to press and hold the middle button here. That's going to turn the monitor on. You can peel off your protective screen too. Peel off the protective screen. Press and hold the middle button. A unit comes on. You would have just seen it just said E2.9. So that's the version it's up to, the software version. So you can check the bottom of our product page, the TyreWatcher X2 product page, and it will say the current version and the date. So the current version at the moment is E2.9. So this is up to date. If it's not, you can set the unit up, then update it later, or you can update it now. We've got videos on how you update it. You basically connect your phone to this like a unit, and you put a new software on it. So here you can see the screen, what this all means. So it's saying we're on PSI and Celsius, so obviously PSI for pressure, Celsius for temperature. Small little zeros are the temperature, the big zeros are the pressure. Apart from at the back here, where these two tire positions here, they only show the pressure. So they're normally your spares or airbags. So you can see this has 8, as this was a 8 sensor kit over here. The 4 large ones will be in the back, 4 small ones on the front. You can see these have numbers on them. So the numbers are mainly only important for the first time you set it up. It does make it easier. So for example, if you ever get a replacement sensor, you could just screw off the cap that says 41 and put it on the new sensor. It just helps with placement. Now realistically, the sensors could go anywhere, but it helps with placement, because if you look at our little diagram here, you can see it says, oh yep, 11 on the front left, 12 on the front right, 21, 22, and so on. So that's sort of how it works. So we have this on, that's all good. We can clip on our little base plate. This is fairly straightforward. You'll see you just need to push it into the side here and push it into the other side, I pull it out, and so it clips in like that, and that's how it locks position. So obviously if it's on your dash, it's going to be like that. If it's on your windscreen, you're going to have it obviously like mounted up like that. Again, red for windscreen goes on here, black for dash sits on the bottom. So that's cool. You can see it's showing 3 bars, but you could, which is fine. You can see it just changing because I caught some sun, so it said it was charging. So we will, the first time you use it again, we will leave it so like plugged in to make sure it is fully charged. Now we're going to go and chuck our sensors on, make sure it's all good. So go like our sensors here and this here. So now I'm going to go around and put our sensors on. I'm not going to film every one because it's not like rocket science, it's the same every time. So, front left tyre, we have a look at our little display here. Front left is using 11. Fairly straightforward. Here is 11 here. I have our display here. You can see everything still shows like 0. So, what we do is we screw in our lock nut. Again, if you don't have the caravan here, or trailer or whatever's on the back, and you can just put the sensors on the car to start with, and like run the system just in the car to see how it all works and understand it. So that's up to you. So lock nut spun on, spin the sensor on, and you'll hear it go shh as the air comes out, and then it's on tight, hand tight, back that nut back against the sensor and tighten it up. So just like that. Now you'll see if I get my display here, we have front left showing 39 PSI and 20 for the temperature. Exactly what we want to see. So I'm not going to go through and do every single one, but I'm going to on the video. But I'm just going to I'm going to repeat that like now for everyone. All you want to do is you just want to see that you get like this happening, pressure and a temperature. If you don't, just screw the sensor on and back off. See if that sorts it. If that doesn't sort it and you have like one that isn't coming up, just try a replacement battery. We just include two extra spare batteries in every kit because every now and again we get like a random dud battery, just part of the battery production. They produce so many, it's just the way it is. So that'd be the first fix, just to try and replace the battery in that sensor, and then that should start picking it up. So you can see I've gone around, I've screwed on all the sensors, I've just put this on the dash in the car, I'm sitting in the driver's seat. Again, if you didn't have a caravan here, that's all good. Just screw the 4 car ones on. You can leave the rest off, or however many you put on the car. You might have some spares on. Press and hold the plus button. What that does, if you press and hold the plus button down, is you'll see the caravan drops off. So that's what you use when you're disconnect the caravan. So if you don't have the van or trailer here, you can just set it up, get the hang of it, just make sure it's all working fine, just using the car. But we got something on the back, so that's all good. You can see when I've screwed this on, it's giving me alarms here, and that's because it's saying 27, 27, 27, 28 on those 4 rear tyres. So that's below our below the alarms we have set by default. So what I'm gonna do is I'll leave that as it is. I've just silenced it. That's fine, because what I want to do is sort of put it where it's going to be. So this case probably going to be dash light mounted over here. And now what you want to do is you want to just do like a range test. So I'm going to jump out, I'm going to walk all the way to the rear sensor, the one furthest away from this, so it's there. It doesn't really matter, either side's probably going to be fine, and unscrew it just so it's hanging off the edge of the valve. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to unscrew this just so it's hanging off on the edge of the valve still, but it's not connected. Hopefully you hear me here. It isn't connected to any air, so it's off, but it isn't pushing the valve down. Back to the car. Cool, we're alarming still because we were before, and got 0-0 on the tyre that I pulled the valve off. So that's just our quick range test, just to make sure everything's all good. So that's like a range test done. We've screwed the sensors on, everything's all good. Now what we suggest is we're probably going to set the high and low alarms, and then we'll go for a bit of a drive. Right, so we're going to set these alarms. So again, you got your buttons on the top. If you press the plus button here, you see bar like PSI shows. So what pressing that does is like it's going to scroll you through like the complete menu. You'll see I'll get back to bar PSI at some stage. So that's how you get into like the menu, and then to get like out of it, press and hold the minus button down. And now we're back to the home screen. That's just how it's been designed. So pressing and holding like this one always takes you back to your previous screen. And again, see I press that, that's into like a different screen we're not going to talk about now. But again, if I press and hold the minus button, it takes me out of it. So we're going to press the plus button and we're going to scroll through. We don't need to worry about too many of these until we see something that says P5. Press the middle button to select. Now you see the front two tyres are flashing. So that's how you set like the alarms, because you can set them by the different actuals. So I'm going to press on the middle button on that, and it's saying like EN1. So that means like enable. The only time you sort of disable this is if you're using like airbags, which we won't cover in this video. But that's why that one's there for. So press the middle button again because I'm happy with that. High set it for 48, so that's fine. Low set at 32, that's fine. Now it takes me to the next axle, the rear tyres. High 48, low 42. Again, if you want to change these, the two buttons either side, you're going to go up and down, and then once you're on the pressure you want, you press the middle button. Those are our two spares you've set up, or your airbags sometimes people have. That's fine. Now we're on to the caravan tyre. So press that, enabled, yep, high is 50, low is 34. So you'll see what I'll do here is I'm going to drop this down to below the lowest pressure we had. I pressed the middle button. So now it's gone, because it's gone tick, tick, tick through the lifestyle menu, and it's taken us to like the next menu, the our temperature. So again, you can set your temperature where you want to, depending where you're based. Again, this is just going to get you like a warning if the temperature is too high. So that's all done. Press and hold this button to go to the main screen. And you can see we're on the main screen here. We're still getting like it's like flashing, but this will like stop soon once it's updated. So that's how you set the alarms on there. So that's the user set high and low alarms, and I'll user set like temperature alarms. There is also auto alarms on here. So if your tire pressure increases or decreases too quickly, you're going to get an alarm. If the temp increases too quickly, you're going to get an alarm. So there's some like auto alarms that happen by default, and then you've got your user set ones. So that's all good. Now what we suggest, you can see this one stop flashing right now because it just had an update in the pressure. So it statically updates around every 3 minutes until something's wrong. If like something is like a wrong, it goes to like live updates, which is about every like 3 to 5 seconds. But why things are like fine, it just like stays like a static one. You can see like that one just updated. So that's sort of how it works, and like that's why the batteries can like last so long on the sensors, because it's only sending something every 3 minutes. And then when you if you stop driving, the sensors go to sleep. And then when you this unit here will also turn off because it's a motion detective. And then when you start driving again, the first pressures you're going to see until they update will be the previous last pressure received. So again, that one's updated now. So that's all looking pretty good. So that just explains when you jump back in the car and it comes on, you're like, oh, once you start driving for a bit, it'll show you what you need to see. So I'm just going to stick this on, clean where you're going to put it, peel the plastic off. Just want one side to start with. And you just clean the dash where you're going to put it, and then slap this down. It is removable. It's not, and it doesn't leave any slight trace. So it's pretty good. So you can actually pull the device back off and stuff. So that's all good. Then once you're happy that's all good, peel that top bit off. You can also, if you want to get that the exact size, you could chop it down, whatever you prefer. So again, we're going to go and put that in there, and that sticks on there like that. Give it a little tap down, And obviously you got your like adjustment, so just make sure you have it so you can like view it, not obviously trying to block your vision. Again, common spots to have them are probably over here, the bottom corner on the dash, or you can go on your windscreen up high, even up in here if it can fit, it's quite handy. We can even put it in the middle here, so you can choose where you put it. You also don't have to have it up here. You could mount it down below, sort of down below, but it isn't going to get any sun, so you just have to have it like plugged in all the time. Now, first you want to you can see it's charging out of the moment. The battery's going up and down. I don't know if you can actually quite see that, so it's a bit hard to get the camera in there. The battery is actually going up and down, and there is like a sun icon, which means it is charging on like solar. But what we're going to do for the first time, you just need to have a full charge. We're going to put this like SIG plug in, plug that into the side, and give it a good charge. So that's plugged into a cigarette lighter. You'll see what happens on here is like the battery still shows charging when it's like plugged in, but the sun's gone. So that means I'm no longer using sun for charging, it's using the cable for charging. Cable it comes with is fairly long, got a few meters in there, so you can have it charging the whole time. Up to you. Again, it's so variable depending where you are, how often you're driving. You might be driving at night all the time. Could be raining for a month, who knows. But the solar can last forever, but it also cannot, so hence that. But the first time you use it, you want to give the battery a full charge. So just like leave it on the SIG charge until that battery stops flashing that top icon, and so it's fully charged. Now what you want to do is you want to go for a bit of a drive and just make sure your pressures change and stuff happens. So normally a good 20-minute drive on the highway or something would be good. That will allow pressures and stuff to change. Again, you can just do it with the car. Don't have to have the caravan hooked up, and that's all good. What we don't want to see is, well, it's okay if we do see it, but if we see 88 coming up as a pressure, that means we're going to signal drop out, and if that stays there pretty much the whole time, then we have to look at a repeater. But if it doesn't, that's fine. Righto, so back from the drive there, so go for about a 20-minute drive or something. You just are looking at, I normally like to take a picture at the start of all the pressures and stuff on my phone. So I could see the rear pressures were 27, 28, 28, 27, and I can see now the 28, 29, 28, 30, 28. I can see the temps change, and the front was 36, 38, 38, 38, so I can see that's now 38, 40, 40, 40. Just handy to take a picture on your phone. You can see 20-minute drive is perfect. Again, I know it's a bit of a pain if you don't have a van on to hook a van up to go for a drive. You can just do it in the car, into the van when you get a chance. So you're just looking for that. So that picture on my phone I just checked, and then I could have a look what changed on here. So I just took a picture on my phone so I could see the see all the pressures. And that's all pretty good. It's the unit's still charging. You can see it's gone back to sort of the solar charge now because it's off. That's fine. So if you did get some 88s coming up on here, all the pressures and temperatures weren't updating, then we just need to do a bit of troubleshooting. If it's 88s, if it's on the trailer, you probably need to use on the caravan. You probably need to use a repeater if you're getting the 88s on the caravan. So we have another video about the repeater. If you're getting the 88s on the car, troubleshooting, probably we need to check if we need to probably swap the battery out of that car sensor, and then we need to, if that doesn't work, could be a faulty sensor, and we can replace it for you. We'll sort that out. Leaving it on charge, you can just do it when you drive the next few times, or if you have a SIG plug that's hooked to your auxiliary or whatever that's on the whole time, you could just leave it in there charging overnight and whatnot. So that's basically covering most things. Again, you can either pull this off, it does stick quite well, or you can just take the unit out like that. That is quite easy to take out. There is one more thing I would mention. So that's your red alarm light on the front. So the other little thing is the backlight. So again, into a menu, and we're looking for LL. So by default it's actually set to 2 here, but by default it's set to 0. So that means you cover your hand over here, you'll see the backlight has come on. Probably pretty hard to see here, but the backlight's on and now it's off. Now it's on. You can probably see that coming on and off. So it's got 3 settings. 1, 2, 3 for brightness, like 1 being at the lowest, 2 being middle, 3 being high. And then we have on the other side a 0 for off. So I'm going to set that at 2. And again, press on the middle button to confirm, and then press your minus button to exit out of the menu, and it takes us back to the home menu. So that's basically everything covered here in this full setup video. Should all be working fine now, and you'll be away. Great little product. Having correct tyre pressures and being able to keep an eye on them is pretty good for fuel economy and reducing your tyre wear. Also good for like safety, obviously, having correct tyre pressures. But yeah, good saving on fuel and reducing your tyre wear. And also, so like a few customers, like, they just come in handy. Like if you have like a slow leak in one of your like tyres, it might leak down to I don't know 30 psi, and externally like it looks fine, and you never know it's wrong, but it's actually running 10 pound less than you should be. But you got a screw in there that like leaks to 30, and then it sort of seals. Lots of our customers have picked up those. I picked up one of those myself, and I was like, that's weird, and I didn't believe the machine. And then I double check it, and you're like, oh yep, there's a screw in there. So pretty key for that. And then also, obviously, people who like sort of buy these, like, sometimes have been caught out before, where they've had a dual axle and the rear tire's gone, and they haven't like known about it, and it's like shredded and like wrecked other things. Or the temperature pops up on one of these, and you're like, oh, that temperature is like way too high. There's some other issue going on there, so handy to check. Could be bearing, could be something happening around there, like a brake semi stuck on that is causing the temperature to be higher. So a great device to have for like safety and peace of mind. And that's basically it for the full setup video. Again, we got a full manual, and there's a lot more videos. This machine can do like a lot more things, but this was just sort of to get you started and like I covered. All right, and one more thing I will cover is few people obviously run the sort of whatever, like 5 to 7 pound increase rule of thumb from cold to warm for you, so like tires to be right. It's a good system. It's easy. It works. There's probably other like more accurate like ways to do it, but the harder. So if you want to do something like that, again, you don't want to be doing it when it's extremely cold or extremely hot. But again, come out to your car when it's like resting. The best way to actually like do it is to unscrew and screw back on all the sensors, because that's going to give you the correct live update pressure of all your tires before you move. So then just take a picture of that, go for a decent drive at 100k, whatever you're driving at, and then take a picture, and you'll be able to see how much everything's like increased from cold to warm, and that will give you a good idea, a good understanding if your pressures are correct to start with.